Wait. Don't scroll. No, seriously, come back. I need to ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, yeah, I'm just average? Or worse, I don't think I'm attractive like that. But then, people treat you in a way that doesn't match that belief. They look at you a little longer. They act weird around you. They remember small things about you. And you're just there like, wait, what's going on? Yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Because here's the truth most people never tell you. Some of the most attractive people are the least aware of it. And if you're watching this right now, there's a high chance this is about you. And listen, this is not one of those videos where I'll just say, be confident, love yourself, you're beautiful. Nah, we're going deeper. We're talking about real signs, psychological signs, subtle things people notice about you that you might be completely blind to. And yeah, we'll talk about looks. But we're also talking about something stronger than looks. Presence, energy, the way people feel when you walk in. That kind of attraction, that's the one people don't forget. And especially for the guys watching this, let me say this clearly. A lot of men think attraction is just about money, muscles, or status. That's part of it. But it's not the whole game. Some of the most attractive men in a room don't even say much. They just are, and people feel it. So, let's get into it, and I want you to stay till the end, because number 6, that one hits different. Sign 1. People look at you, then look away. You ever catch someone staring at you, and the moment you notice, they look away real fast, like they got caught stealing something? Yeah, that's not random. That's one of the biggest signs. Because when people find you attractive, they look. But here's the twist. They don't always want you to catch them looking, especially if they're shy, especially if they're not sure about themselves, especially if it's a woman looking at a man she finds interesting, or a man looking at a woman he feels slightly intimidated by. Now here's where people mess up. You might think, oh, maybe there was something on my face. Or, they were looking at someone behind me. No. Sometimes, it's just you. And the crazy part? If you don't believe you're attractive, you'll keep explaining it away. You'll keep rejecting the evidence. And over time, you train your mind to ignore signals that are actually very real. Let me talk to the guys for a second. Bro, if women look at you and then quickly look away, don't assume you're doing something wrong. Sometimes, it means you made them nervous. And that's not weakness. That's presence. But if you're not aware of it, you'll shrink yourself. You'll become quieter, less confident, less expressive. Because you think you're not that guy. Meanwhile, you are. You just don't see it yet. Sign 2. People are randomly nice to you. This one is subtle, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. People go out of their way for you. They help you. They smile at you. They treat you better than expected. And you're just like, why are they being so nice? Listen, humans are wired in a certain way. We respond differently to people we find attractive. It's unconscious. We don't even think about it. We just do more. And if this happens to you often, it's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's a pattern. But here's where it gets interesting. If you don't believe in your own attractiveness, you'll turn this into, they're just nice people. They feel sorry for me. They act like this with everyone. No, not like that. Not consistently. Your mind protects your old identity, even when reality is trying to upgrade it. Sign 3. People get a little awkward around you, this one. This one confuses people the most. Because instead of thinking, they like me, you think, they don't like me. People stumble on their words. They act slightly off. They overthink what they say. They laugh weirdly. And you're there like, why is this interaction so uncomfortable? Let me tell you why. Because your presence affects them, and they don't know how to handle it. Guys, this is important. If a woman acts a little awkward around you, don't immediately assume she's not interested. Sometimes she's too aware of you, and that pressure makes people act out of character. Same thing for women watching. Men do this all the time. We'll act calm, but internally, it's chaos. So instead of thinking, I made it weird, try thinking, maybe I had an effect. That shift alone changes everything. Now it gets deeper, because the next signs aren't about what people do in front of you. It's about what stays with them after you leave. And that's where real attraction lives. Sign 4. You get compliments. But not the ones you expect. This one is sneaky, because if you're waiting for people to say, you're so hot, you're the most beautiful person ever, you might miss it completely. Instead, people say things like, you have a nice vibe, I feel calm around you, there's just something about you, you're different, and you're like, okay, what does that even mean? But listen carefully. Those compliments, they go deeper than looks. They're not reacting to your face alone, they're reacting to your presence. Because physical beauty can catch attention, but energy holds it. There are people who look perfect, but you forget them quickly. And then there are people, maybe like you, who don't even try that hard. But somehow, people remember them, talk about them, think about them later. That's not normal attraction. That's impact. Guys, if a woman tells you, I feel safe around you, I like talking to you, you're easy to be around, don't downplay that. That's not just friendliness, that's emotional attraction, and that kind lasts longer than looks. But if you don't recognize it, you'll miss opportunities that were literally right in front of you. Sign 5. You don't try too hard. And that's what makes you stand out. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you don't really perform for attention? Like, you're just being yourself. You're not the loudest in the room. You're not forcing conversations. You're not chasing validation. And yet, people still notice you? Yeah, that's a sign. A big one. Because most people, they try. They overthink. They adjust themselves to be liked. But when someone doesn't do that, it creates a different kind of energy. It feels real, grounded, unbothered, and people are drawn to that, not because it's loud, but because it's rare. Bro, listen, you don't need to be the funniest guy in the room. You don't need to impress everyone. Sometimes, the guy who speaks less, but speaks with calm confidence, he's the one people watch the most. But if you don't trust that, you'll start forcing things, and the moment you force it, you lose the very thing that made you attractive. Sign 6. People remember you. Even after short interactions, this is powerful, and most people don't even connect it. You meet someone briefly, a short conversation, nothing crazy, and later, they remember you, they bring you up again, they smile when they see you, they treat you like you left a mark, and you're thinking, we barely even talked. Exactly. Attraction is not always about time, it's about impact. Some people can spend hours with someone and feel nothing, and then spend 5 minutes with another person and feel everything. That's energy, that's presence, that's something deeper than surface-level beauty. And if this has happened to you before, don't brush it off, don't minimize it, because it means you don't just pass through people's lives. You touch them in ways you might not even fully understand yet. So let's bring this together, because this is where everything shifts. Attraction is not always loud, it's not always obvious, And it's definitely not always something you can see clearly. Sometimes, you're the last person to realize your own impact, because you've lived with yourself your whole life. You've seen your flaws up close. You've heard your own doubts. You've believed your own negative thoughts. So, of course, it's hard to see what others see. But others? They experience you differently. They don't hear your inner criticism. They feel your presence. They notice your energy. They pick up on things you overlook. And maybe, just maybe, you're not less attractive than you think. You're just not used to seeing yourself clearly. So now I'm curious. Which one hit you the most? Be honest. Not the one you wanted to relate to. The one that made you pause for a second. Drop it in the comments. And also, tell me this. Have you ever experienced one of these, but convinced yourself it meant nothing? Like, you brushed it off so fast you didn't even give it a second chance to be real. Someone looked at you a little longer than usual, and instead of sitting with it, you told yourself, nah, probably nothing. Someone went out of their way for you, and instead of receiving it, you explained it away, you minimized it, you reduced it, you made it smaller than it actually was. Why? Because sometimes it's easier to believe you're not attractive than to accept that maybe you are. And I get it. Because the moment you accept that, everything changes. Now you have to carry yourself differently. Now you have to unlearn the old story you've been telling yourself. Now you have to face the fact that maybe you've been underestimating yourself this whole time. So I'm asking you again, be honest this time. Have you ever felt something, but talked yourself out of it? I really want to know, not the perfect answer, not the nice answer, the real one. Drop it in the comments. Tell me your story, because you'd be surprised how many people are going through the exact same thing as you. Quietly. And if this video made you pause for even a second, if it made you look at yourself a little differently, even just a little, don't ignore that. That small shift. That's how everything starts. Not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet realization that something about you might be more powerful than you thought. So don't keep this to yourself. Send it to someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes people don't need more advice. They just need a different mirror. And before you go, remember this. The version of you that you've been doubting, questioning, overthinking, that might actually be the version of you that people feel the most. The one that's natural, unforced, real. So next time something like this happens, don't rush to dismiss it. Sit with it. Just for a moment, let it be real. Let it mean something. Because sometimes, the thing you've been trying to hide, downplay, or ignore, is the exact thing that makes people stop, look, and feel something they can't even explain.